Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-ba-dum, dum, dum, bum, 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 dum, bum, 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 dum, bum, bum, ba. Onwards we go. Hopefully. We try anyway. So this is the Baneling ad question. If I could get this Baneling in the air meaningfully, I might be able to rocket jump off it, was my idea here. There's a relatively low ground here. And another relatively low ground here. I think the elemental is just annoying for this. However, actually a closer save might be better. I also think the elemental respawns really fast. Oh, forgot to set up my rebinds. Like right now the elemental is probably there. Yep. And by the time I return as well, I expect. Okay, so how to go about this? I don't really know. So first I'd have to get the Baneling over to the right side, and preferably without dropping down there, because I don't have a good way of getting up again. Oh wait, weird thought. If I wouldn't have gotten this teleporter in advance, could I even get up here? Oh, maybe I could with Igor or something? I can't rule it out. Otherwise I could have considered this impossible. Oh, the map is fixed. Thanks, Cosmic. Impossible to hold progression because being soft lockable, but I'm not actually entirely sure. So grenades can propel banelings in the air generally, right? Oh. That just explodes it though. That's not useful. See, this is what I don't understand. When does the baneling explode? And when does it get redirected? Where's the logic? Where's the pattern? Also, how does this work with velocity? The baneling definitely didn't keep its velocity there, no, it just lost all of it. I don't understand. Oh, cave. So that was one case where the grenade did in fact redirect the baneling in a way that got it over this pit. Whoops. figure that goes down too fast. Yeah. La 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 la. Hmm. So I'm looking for a setup that just works from where I respawn. Because then that's just one less inconsistency that can happen. Okay. Fun phase redirect. But I suspect the continuation of this would be the Baneling going straight into his demise. Oh, also I'm placing a bunch of grenades on the ground. And the Baneling doesn't like that. Maybe I need something that is a timed explosion, so I don't have to spread grenades all over. No, that doesn't work. Well, how would I remote explode this without laying grenades on the ground? Like... Hmm... Okay, so if the Baneling doesn't explode through the grenade on the ground, which probably won't be consistent, the Baneling can be here. That is possible. Well, now what? Charge Flame can redirect this thing, right? So I guess my first attempt will be a Charge Flame redirect over this. No. I need something that gets it off the ground, and that's probably just grenade again. Can you land a grenade in this? Not at all. Not even slightly. Dun, ba, dun, da. Not even slightly. This is the farthest right, the farthest left you can land a grenade. But again, I don't understand what explodes the Baneling and what lifts it off the ground, and I would need multiple grenades to lift it off the ground here. Unless I like do the... Maybe I do that, maybe just have it roll into there, the damaging... I don't know what that is, really hard corruption thing. Makes the grenade explode, and if timed correctly, that would redirect the Baneling. And then I just try a rocket jump from... where exactly? Wait, does this help me? Like, if I got a rocket jump here, that just wouldn't go far enough though, right? I might not even be able to charge dash to the left after a rocket jump if the Baneling's there. No, probably if like the Baneling gets propelled, it would just die the next instant. But I'm not sure a charge dash even covers enough distance for this. Okay. Nice. That needs to happen faster. The grenade didn't even explode, just The Baneling did. Weird. Well, hopefully this is controllable and not just pseudo-random. Oh, that was a really slow redirect. That was actually good. I was not ready for it though. La la la. The remote explosion doesn't work sometimes? Yeah, there the remote explosion didn't work. Maybe the grenade that I'm throwing to the far right despawns off screen? And that makes it not work? I'll throw it a bit later. Yeah, that seemed to help. Ooh. These are somehow more unpredictable than bird bongs. I think the third one should go to the left. Wow! Gotta wait a bit for me, Baneling. I'm not that fast. Oh my god. What do I do with that third grenade? It has to go somewhere. And it kinda was in the way that time. Yo, Korsla! Hello and welcome. Thanks for bringing your people here. Were you doing the Ori 2s? I don't have enough time for this. When am I gonna throw my grenade? We're doing some no menu glitches. I should have checked who's all in the tourney. Are you in the tourney? You probably are, right? If so, who's your first opponent in the bracket? Dum dum bum bum ba da da dum dum bum. Wait, this is not the order of operations. Kleber? Well... Ah, help! The grenade in the way redirects so unpredictably. Time to give it your best then. Because there is a chance that you'll only have one match to show off all your practice. Of course, that chance always exists, no matter what. I still don't know where exactly in this I have the time to throw a grenade. Maybe like this? It's a best of 3. Oh, it's all best of 3s. Okay. I guess with 8 players you can do that. Dum. Bum. Flavor is rusting away. Rust do be an issue with a speedrun in particular. I feel like rust matters a bit less in randomizer, but if you're rusty on a speedrun, no chance. Dum, bum, dum. Might have a chance to take one game. I mean, that would already be cool. Ah! I'm always bailing out because it doesn't seem like I have any time. But I think that's true, I just wouldn't have any time there. I should figure out exactly how far right I'm allowed to stand. Do I need to grenade him over the fire thing? I don't have a solid concept for what I'm doing yet, but yes. I was hoping I could do something like jump over. Actually, I should like... I need a running start. I need a running start. That's one thing I'm doing wrong. I should accelerate, then jump over the Baneling, throw this grenade, and then I'm hoping, like, with as close as this all is, maybe I jump just barely out of the way, this redirects the Baneling, and then I just do a rocket jump, and it's never gonna work. Try to have the Baneling roll into the grenade while it's on the ground instead of in the gap. Well, when do I even place that grenade, though? That seems even harder to fit in time-wise. Ah! Why did you turn around so slowly? That threw me off. Just place it further up? I mean, yeah. But it's possible that that's an important step of the process. But right now I haven't even, like, managed to place a grenade anywhere at all. So I have no intel on what good or bad positions would be. I forgot my visual cue. Where do I throw this? Oh, the first grenade? All the tricks of this challenge run are so amazing to watch. I'm glad they are. But why? It doesn't seem like that part is the issue. Nope. Okay, that did not work. Okay, that did not work. Okay, that did not work. I mean, this never worked for me, and like, I don't know if I'm lacking some understanding or whether this can even be possible to be consistent. Gets a slower bounce. It sure does. That's the problem. Feels weird to go back to the first part, because this is the only part that was good, that was consistent. The other parts seemed like they were the issue. Ouch. So there was not on the ground anymore, though. Bum, bum, bum. Okay, that was the first one ever that worked. So I guess maybe there's a different setup that leads to exactly that. Maybe? Catching the Baneling after it bounced sure didn't seem consistent before. Yeah, true. I guess I considered that another part, but that was not, in fact, consistent. So there's a piece of flat ground here where the grenade doesn't want to roll. But I could just do a higher throw in terms of setups. Maybe. That would definitely delay a lot of time. That would be a cool setup. Let's investigate that. So I don't have visual cues up here though. Unless I use the swinging tree, I just have to pay attention to the swinging animation. No, this doesn't work because the camera moves. Okay, I do have arrow keys, like, for adjustments. I can aim somewhere on the ground and then use arrow keys for the adjustment. But yeah, it's true, getting the Baneling over there consistently without it exploding once it's passed would be nice. Hmm. La, la, la. Kinda the right direction, I think. Hmm. Okay. Hello? Dum, ba. Kinda sad that that doesn't work. So the high bounce is not seeming too promising. Because, well, the grenade bounces a lot. Am I right to assume that your plan of getting across is a bit degenerate? I don't have a plan to get across yet. That plan has to be built first. So I don't really know what the plan is like, or how to rate it. Step by step. Dum, bum. Dum, bum, dum. So different save positions could of course be important as well here. Where does the Baneling get aggressive? Like, around here. If I step forward here, it should get aggressive. La 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 la. Okay. Also seems like a useful direction to go in. Okay, so there's probably a positioning where if I throw the grenade right in the middle, it would turn out to work. And then I could just place a save in that exact positioning. Feel like you had better bounces before. I was at this spot with similar skills in the past, and it definitely was not better than this, but I don't know, maybe you had a better setup. Dum. I think last time I did this I also turned out to explode the grenade after it rolled off, just because that's a really consistent way to get the Baneling across. But yes, halting the Baneling after getting it across is not perfectly consistent within the setups I know. That is true. So even though it's a significant time investment, because you need the perfect position for the grounded bounce, there could be a setup here that just works, and maybe it would even save time overall. Okay. So, different questions? Is that consistent? And what exactly is the position? The Soul Link here makes it a bit hard to see. Whoops. Okay, now I can see better. And then there's like that thing where it just explodes, which is one reason where I'm not sure a setup like this would ever be consistent. I don't understand why it explodes. Okay. Just don't roll then. Bum, ba-rum, dum. Hmm. Sen, can you please light less? The lighting is so weird. Is this even Sen? How does this lighting work? Are they like rays? I think that's just rays of sun shining through every now and then for some reason. Brrr. That looked exactly like the attempt that worked. It just didn't work. So that's cool. Wait for the sun ray to pass. Now I can see. Okay. Yeah, maybe something there. I guess I just have to try different save positions. Let's try the safe position. Let's see if the same position at least yields the same results. Aside from when it just randomly explodes. Yeah, good, okay. So that means there should also be a position that yields the same correct result. Yeah, okay, that was 3 times almost exactly the same thing. And the grenade was just barely off the ground. Yeah, that would make sense. That was one of the variants that worked as well. That's what... So it's like... It is what I was trying, just more precise. In terms of optimal positioning. Alright, so since apparently this position is incredibly particular, let's just try again. Maybe here. Hmm. Explode. Okay. I don't know, I'll have to see if that's better than the prior thing. Nope. In that case I mistimed the going to the right part. Yesterday night you had an idea for what might be the most ambitious lure yet. I feel like there's very ambitious lures out there. But I guess so far it's just an idea. Hmm. So there is a variance here, which is how soon after releasing grenade I should hold right. Which seems to matter at this level of precision. There's no time for that. If there's no time for that, then like, what's the plan? What's the plan? Was this ever like consistent from your memory, assuming you tried this before? Which it does seem like. For me this seems significantly less consistent than the previous setup, with higher time investment than I had in the previous setup. But maybe this will get better over time. Nope. Sam has way more experience with it. If I place the grenade further right, then I need less time. But it's also very likely to not be helpful. I guess if this just stalls the Baneling in place, it would be helpful. Because then I could try to throw a grenade from here for the next redirect, which might be preferable anyway, so that I can be further left. Okay. Dum, bum. Remember that dash works without charge? I do have dash, you're right. That seems like a useful skill. Maybe I should apply it sometimes. Should try more different positions. La lam bum ba dum ba. So please, ray of light, go away. Let's try around a bit more with this and pay closer attention to moving right as soon as possible after releasing the grenade. Lum bum bum ba. These rays of light do not help. Dum bum. I think that at this point in the Plando, if you let go of your human imperfections, you can sequence break this Plando hard. I have no idea what that even means. Bum, ba, dum. Okay, so in this case, the Baneling comes too late, or the grenade rolls too fast. So I would like to be a bit further right. So in that case, the grenade appeared to roll too slowly, which would suggest I want to be further left, somewhere in between those. And that just kinda seemed good, and I have no idea. Do I remember my previous setup still? I'm not entirely sure what my previous setup was at this point. I think it was just like... No. Oh, I had a specific position and then I would throw like here or something. That was the previous setup. A remote explosion. As opposed to this, which is a contact explosion. The grenade explodes because of contact with the baneling. But the context explosion seems incredibly particular. The remote explosion seemed just, I don't know, lenient. But I'll give it time. Maybe this is good. And I just haven't found the setup to make it good yet. Go away, light. Oh, it is Ori shining that light. Or Sen. Maybe Sen, like, has a rotating light or something that shines in different directions over time? Alright, let me try with different grenade angles instead of different positions. Not having luck with positions. Whoops. Nice. This seems like just not good. I don't know. Oh well, that definitely doesn't work because I'm much closer to the baneling now. For something like that, I'd have to be further away. There's no reason to assume that helps, though. Dum bum. Oh, Spines was probably suggesting that a task could sequence break this plan though, and it just took me really long to interpret that correctly. Dude! Why are you rolling so irregularly? This was a nice one. That was really difficult to handle correctly. Like, in that case, it was the same issue as with the old setup, just difficult to react correctly when on the other side. But it would have been possible to react correctly. This just doesn't want to work, seemingly. Dum, bum, bum, dum, dum, bum. I have a bunch of tools to get it under control once it's as slow as that. A bunch of tools? Was Stomp even affected? No, so Stomp is not a tool. Charge Flame does a little bit. Can't afford the energy for Charge Dash. A bunch of tools, I don't know. Seems like a stretch. Core Stomp is a tool. Yeah. Is this reliable? Let me try around with this. You need to get on top reliably, like, you don't want to land on the side of the Baneling with that. Oh. Oh. Is this really easier in some way than just jumping over it? I don't know about that. That at least doesn't seem helpful. Like, it wasn't even on the ground, it just exploded. Makes the Baneling sit in place on a flat surface? Well, sit in place is good because it's not like I can do anything like this. I still need to get out of this state of eternal stomping, for which I do need to move to the side, so it's just an indirection of the same consequence that jumping has in this case anyway. This is different if you have a bunch of energy and you can like use charge dashes at free will. Then there's a lot more options. Like then you can use this to stall. Come on now, if you can. It's not trivial. Oh my god. And you can charge dash to recover. What if you storm and then just move a tiny bit to the left? Not sure I'm interpreting correctly. Oh my god, come on! This Bane stand still? Is that what sitting in place looks like? I don't think that's what sitting in place is. On a flat surface, to be fair. This just isn't a flat surface. This is not really a flat surface, but it's more flat than the other one. Okay, so that's the first time the Baneling is actually still. Not sure if I interpreted that correctly as move just a tiny bit to the left. I don't think there's anything where I could redirect from this position either. And that's more helpful if you have more energy, I guess. Moving a tiny bit and then stomping again. I make him to go to the left. I could make him go to the left like that. So if that's ever useful, I could do that. But more likely, whatever exactly happens, I have to get out of the state at some point. Whoops. It doesn't seem like you can cancel a charge dash into the Baneling and still end up at the bottom. Now you throw a grenade. Well, that grenade will be auto-aimed, so it'll just land somewhere. In that case, it landed inside the Baneling, which turns out is bad. Ugh! I find it so difficult if the Baneling is slow. Ouch. I don't think these auto-aimed grenades were a very helpful game. Kind of crazy, like, this is pretty reasonable to do without a setup. So my setups must be pretty bad if they're not better than just doing it without one. Alright, let me answer a call I'm getting right now. Bum, Ba-da-dum, bum, bum. Well, as long as I don't get head trauma from this, I guess I can use the time for thinking. Maybe the Baneling will be a bit slower like this. See where Grenade goes from here, but I don't wanna die. It's getting out of control. I don't wanna die! Oh wow. I thought I would 100% die. But I just killed the Baneling. Yeah, that was about what I would have expected. And it is what happened. It's funny how the grenade just stood there for a while though. Whoops. It's very predictable. Like, I don't have to get the Baneling here. I can just throw them myself while jumping. It's the exact same auto-aim grenade. And I don't have to throw it either because I know the angle. I can visualize where it goes. Stomping here seems so inconvenient. I don't like the prospect of this. Like, look how many of these grenades just kill me. There was one useful grenade in there and then a dozen that kill me. That one kills me. I don't know. Is the auto-aim angle always the same? Yeah. I mean, unless you have a target. Like, if you don't have a target, there's just a default auto-aim angle. Midair, yes? No, it's the same on the ground. It's not about midair. Alright, so what did I want to try? There are different things. So one is I could use a charge flame to get more time while I place down my grenade. That is one very simple thing to try. This is not how I approach tricks. I do approach tricks with setups usually. If only there was a good one here. Let's try a further left save again. I feel like that gives you significantly more flexibility with the auto-aim angles. Don't need to save yet. Oh no, it doesn't really matter where. Just for trying around. La 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 la. Oh, this was my previous setup. Oh my god, that slow one always throws me off. Yeah, okay. So that gets a pretty slow one that I could probably get used to. Whoops. Yes, very slow. Alright, let's use the save for a while. Whoops. I don't wanna stomp, to be honest. Like, I see that you can do that, but it's so scary. And if I go to the left now, the Baneling will start pretty fast. If I do the jumping, then there's like... the Baneling has to decelerate, the Baneling has to brake before being able to chase me again. And it's so hard to get out of this stomp. No, I don't think that's a part of what I'm trying to do here. Like, maybe there's setups with that. Just my ideas go in different directions. Yeah, I get its spines. Like, I could do this further and further, but I don't see how this works out or like where this leads right now. And I see other things where I know where they might lead. Dum bum. Why do I want to do this storm? What is the motivation? Dum bum ba dum ba. Yo, nice setup. That still never works. Nope. Did you make it clear what your goal is? Well, the abstract goal is to get across Horu Fields. The immediate goal with stomping seems to be to stop the Baneling? Not sure that's advantageous. Bum, ba. Dum, bum, ba, dum. You did claim that you were trying to slow me down. I just didn't believe it. Ah, that's the really slow one. Okay. I recovered from the really slow one. That's cool. Okay. That was slower than I anticipated. That was really slow. Maybe I just need that and I don't need a charge flame. So let me see exactly where the correct turnaround point for the Baneling might be. So I have him jump over here. That seems hard to control, actually. For this challenge run, is it all trees? All trees and all map stones. La lam bum bum ba. All nodes? Yeah, it is also all nodes, because Tuan shouts at you if you do a sequence break and skip any node. What are nodes? So if you do tricks, sometimes it increases your node, and node 28 appears to be the final node, so it's a rough idea of how far through the chain of intended progression I am. Although their pacing has been pretty irregular, like some nodes are really short, some nodes are incredibly long. So 17 out of 28 could mean that I'm like a bit above halfway, or it could mean that I'm a third, a quarter, a fifth, or already 3/4. I don't really have any idea how much that is, because the nodes are so unevenly distributed. So if the Baneling rolls down past this tiny ledge, then it seems to take a while to get back up here. And I think I want that stall just for experimentation. La 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 la. I'm not sure there's setup potential here because, like, physics interactions are pretty unpredictable sometimes. There's a certain result of my setup where the Baneling gets redirected over really slowly, where I could just go right away. That would of course be cool. Not sure how inconsistent it would be to just aim for that. Going right away would have the perk that it's faster attempts though. Bum. Random explosion. But I just dash to the left then? You're right, I keep forgetting about dash, it seems. Not sure why. Whoops. Okay, that was my first attempt at something. You pretty much design your plan of progression in the same way. How long one takes is not a consideration. Well, I feel like the fact that it's not a consideration gets more relevant if the nodes are displayed to the user. Oh, I have to be careful. Charge dash increases your hitbox a little bit. Okay. So I got the Baneling over here, that's possible. That's cool. So then I could place my last grenade here and try to bonk it into the air a bit. Yeah, I remember chapters. I think the chapters felt pretty evenly paced. Those were cool. But you didn't know how many chapters there were. So in order for them to work like the nodes here, you'd also have to specify how many chapters there are. Okay, so I have a plan for this. That's good. Plans are always helpful. Ugh! Way too much speed. Chapters were more about themes than spacing. It worked out, I feel like. Like, I don't think they were all evenly length, but it's also just a while ago. I remember that the chapters felt nice. The notes feel a bit confusing at times in this. So many face redirects today. All about going up caverns repeatedly. I don't remember the details at all. Just the abstract of it. Oh. Okay. That was a really slow Baneling. I've had to wait a bit for that. I'm curious how far the charge dash will go over Horu Fields. That'll be interesting to see. Okay, I have to place this more carefully, like that. Still struggling with the last grenade. And with that happening. Would have had to wait longer on the second grenade to line it up with the Baneling. How exactly do I wanna, like, do this? I think something like that is correct. Where it rolls into the fiery thing, so it can propel from below. What I am attempting here is a variation of Goldberg jump from Sonda. Yeah, this is the area where I stopped playing Sonda. I played Sonda up to here, and then Ori 2 released. But like, it wasn't just Ori 2 getting released. I also accidentally deleted my save file for Sonda, and I also just got kind of frustrated in this area, so really it was a combination of circumstances. My mistakes are coming back to bite me? Mayhap so. Oh, okay. So there I waited too long, but like, I'm not gonna know in advance how fast the Baneling comes over. And there it just came over much slower. Yeah, so it would be really cool if this first part was consistent, because that would make the consecutive parts much easier. But I'm trying to do the same thing every time. Okay, so I got shot by the elemental, and the Baneling didn't get redirected upwards. There's quite some pieces missing to this. Oops. That was a pretty good one though. Yeah, my best yet. Dum, ba, dum, bum, ba, dum. So the thing is, if I land my grenade up here, it might be that because the Baneling rolls into this over an upward slope, that the redirect angle cannot work out. Like, maybe it just can't get redirected upwards there. Which would be kind of unfortunate. I don't think I can use this redirect itself for the rocket jump, though. Because it's just really far right. It would have gotten me over there in Sonda without much issue. Okay. This tilted ceiling means that being farther left would be highly preferable. And I think I need that. Oh no, I could have... Oh no, it doesn't matter that much actually. I could just do stair cancels, because I'm relatively good at those. Should be able to preserve a reasonable amount of height. Maybe the rocket jump further to the right would just be okay. Might be worth trying. So I would just do it from here, maybe? But then it would be very horizontal. Here definitely doesn't work. Maybe I just place my grenade here. Is that easier in any way then? Well, what I'm thinking is if I place my grenade here, then it should redirect the Baneling upwards, right? Stomp being too good once again. I mean, I have Stomp, that's not the problem here. Oh yeah, you mean because of the stair cancels? Yeah, that does help me preserve energy here. Not a good place to try out stair cancels. La, 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 la. I have to make sure that the Baneling touches the grenade though, and not me. Oh, it rolls in there. That's so convenient. That's so good. Okay, so I can just let it roll in there. Hopefully the Baneling gets redirected upwards from this, and then I can walk under it, rocket jump, sort of sequence of stair cancels, and then I'll be out of energy on the other side. So that'll be really scary, but let's think about that when we get there. Talking of scary. The thing is, the prior setup had to stomp the Baneling, true. But for the prior setup it didn't matter how fast the Baneling went. That's the trade-off here. The original Son of Set was a rocket jump from the dip to the first lava rock. Yeah, that's what I initially tried here as well. Oh my god. But I'm not sure it's strictly necessary, and it might be easier to do otherwise. Don't auto-aim grenades! Those would kill the Baneling, probably. Da-dum, bum, bum. Okay. I mean, those were good attempts, and I think they were back-to-back. Not bad. We also had double jump. Yeah. That would help. Okay, I need to make sure that I don't aim to the right, like this, because I don't think this grenade works. I've tried it a couple times now. But rather left like this, so that it bonks into the hard damaging stuff. Like that, and then just get over. That was close, okay. I mean, this is getting close, right? This could happen, like, right now. Oh, that targeted the slime. Bum. Ow! Not good. Stop, please. Don't die to the elemental. I should, like, I should find a place for stair cancels. This is not really a place for stair cancels. I guess it's fine. Bum, bum, bum. I don't have wall interaction, that makes it kind of hard to go up somewhere. But like, they don't have to be perfect. I don't think that's the part that will fail, although under pressure, who knows? Who knows? Oh, that didn't roll into the damaging bulb. Blob. Bum, da, da, dum, bum, bum. Okay, so that's not what I envisioned. The Baneling just kind of rolls over this. Apparently it ramps a little and just kind of jumps off that ledge. At least it did that time. That's not at all what I expected. Not even slightly. So how much of a rocket jump would I get if I just waited here? I mean, then it should roll over me as well if I just wait here, right? You know what I mean? Try putting the grenade on the ledge. Also an option. The thing is, I'm like, in terms of angles, I'm not sure I would get any Baneling hide from that. Bum bum ba. See Goldberg jump. I don't know the Goldberg jump. I have not in fact seen the Goldberg jump. Dum ba dum bum. No, don't throw a grenade. Just like wait here. Ah. But maybe not in a way where the elemental shoots there. But I told you, duck next to the lava rock and R jump for that. Yeah, also an option. There's just many options here. And to know whether they are good, I'll have to try them. Should I keep a charge flame ready for this guy? Can I kill this with one charge flame? No. You can distract it a bit though. Whoops, that elemental is very useful. Yeah, same. But sometimes I sure wish it didn't respawn so fast. Whoa! Oh, wait, what? You can just roll over there? Was that just random once-in-a-lifetime magic, or does that actually work? Ba-dum. Grenade might still have played a role there. Maybe. It doesn't generally seem to just roll over there. What am I trying to do here? Well, welcome, first of all. Ouch. I'm not in fact trying to redirect banelings into my face, although it sometimes may look like that. There are multiple items here, and I don't know what these items are yet. So I'm trying to get to them and see whether they are maybe useful abilities or useful resources. However, it turns out getting to them is pretty difficult. I'm not entirely sure whether it's possible yet, but I'm trying. Oh. It just kind of slid off. It was already over here and then slid off. And on a lower layer, I'm trying to get this Baneling over this pit, because if I get the Baneling all the way over here, I might be able to use it to generate height and go over this large plane of instant death obstacles. Why do I die when that green thing explodes? It's an enemy. It's just designed that way. It rolls towards you, on contact it explodes, and then it dies. And, well, while it dies it explodes, and you die as well. That is tough. Yeah, because I want to use this. It's a frenemy. It's an enemy, but also it's a friend, and it can help me. I just need to instruct it correctly. Maybe asking about Wither? Yeah, sometimes I also just die deliberately, because I can press a button and die, and in that case the enemy was gone, and so I just died for it to respawn, so I can try again. That's just a convenience feature that I get for this challenge, which saves me a lot of time, otherwise I would have to walk into spikes every time or something. Bum ba dum. I don't think I was supposed to dash there, that probably offsets my setup. And I'm throwing these little blue grenades, because when they explode they can propel this enemy around a bit, which is one possible method, and my preferred one here, to hopefully get the enemy over those pits. Unfortunately, it's really hard to control. Bum, bum, bum. Nope, that's not the plan. Nope. That is harder than Ginso Tree? It sure is! To be fair, this is not the way the game was intended to be played. This is a community-made modification of the game. Well, this time the Baneling didn't jump over. That's rude. Why you gotta behave different every time? And this is specifically a community-made modification of the game that tries to create the hardest challenge that was ever created for this game. So it is quite possibly harder than anything else this game has to offer. Right, I guess I'll go back to the old grenade redirect idea if the Baneling does tend to usually roll into this. Does that mean there is source code for Ori available? Nope, but it's actually pretty easy to decompile the game, so you can just mod it anyway. Dum, bum, 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 bum. Bum, bum, bum. Ba-da-dum, dum, bum. It's really hard to predict when exactly the Baneling ends up here. I guess I could try myself out statistics. What's the most common case? And try to adjust for the most common case, failing on all the less common cases. I think the most common case seems to be that the Baneling jumps over here really fast. How much height would I get from this? Maybe this is also just worth trying. It just seems hard to time. Bum, ba. Bum, ba, da, dum. Alright. I adjusted for the apparently more common fast case and the slow case failed. That's just a trade-off I decided to take though. I don't know, maybe that would just be enough height. That was my original strat here, try to lay a grenade here. Maybe it redirects the Baneling up a bit and then rocket jump, but I never got to try it out, because it's just... it takes a while until I can get the Baneling over there to try anything. Dum bum bum bum. Slower, please. Can't handle that much speed. I feel like that was even faster. Ba-dum. Whoa! Okay. So that is the thing that can happen. The Baneling can just fly over here at a lot of speed. I mean, if that happens, everything should be simpler, right? Then I can just rocket jump off that without any further steps. I wonder if that will ever happen again. Okay. Cool. So do that, but then I have to get farther with my stair cancels. This seems worth practicing some stair cancels for. So let me just go to the valley main shaft and practice a little. Maybe don't override this. Alright. So I confirmed that the first part of the sequence is in fact possible, and I like the setup I have. I'll keep using that. But I need to practice the second part. I certainly could have had that. Yes, that was absolutely possible. So let me practice the second part in isolation here. You can go below the second elemental. I don't want to. That sounds scarier than it needs to be. I'll try to go over it. So this is what I want to do. Just consistent, regular stair cancels. And not fail them like that. Eh. See, I'm not consistent yet. And these failures must not happen during the trick. So, practice them a bit. Okay, there I lost my energy. Where are we going today? Right now I'm practicing stair cancels. I just got verification that a trick is possible to get across Horu Fields, but it involves needing a couple of good stair cancels, the way I set it up. Where are we going today? Downstairs, obviously, duh. Don't you see what I'm doing? I was cutting some of these a bit short. Yeah, that is one issue I have. I tend to cut them short. It's obviously better than delaying too long and losing your energy. But I could make these much longer and cover more distance. There I lost one energy. So one of them was too long. Alright, I'm getting some consistency at this. Whoops. There goes my consistency. Die. La la. Is it a target to hit near Misty? I could, but I kinda wanna do the alternating left-right stair cancels. I don't need right stair cancels here, but just to, like, it's just a general thing. If you practice something, practice it in both directions. Not helpful right now, but helpful in the general case of stair cancels. Yo, those were some nice stairs until that one I missed. Far from optimal, but I think that would be good enough. I don't need them to be perfect. Actually, if I do it... how many stair cancels do I need? Actually, I think I just need one stair cancel in the trick. I did 2. I tried 3, but I think I only need 1, and then I can just do a normal charge dash. I need 1 or 2. I'll have to judge by visuals, but it's something to keep in mind. The last one doesn't have to be a stair cancel, and that could make it a bit more lenient. Okay, back to the trick. Orpheus is like half the way across the gap in Valley from TP. Yeah, it's not that far. Also welcome, Cerebron. Hitting that timing of the grenade exploding is pretty difficult. Dum bum ba dum bum. Ouch. I hope I can get this today. I have only limited time today. I could definitely get this right now, given enough time. But I don't have much more than like half an hour at max. This trick seems big crazy. I have a proof of concept. All parts of this are possible. I know it. I've already gotten a promising rocket jump off the Baneling that could have gotten across with proper stair cancels. Unfortunately, this time I didn't quite hit it. The angle also was less good though. Okay, I definitely need 2 stair cancels, but the last one... No, actually, the elemental might stop it. It's hard. Maybe I do need really good stair cancels. So that was the second time I got up there. Second time the stair cancels didn't really work out. I'm still trying relatively safe stair cancels where I lose more height than necessary. I could try to be more aggressive about them, which raises the failure rate of just dropping to your death immediately. But if I need better ones, I gotta do better ones. What are the odds Stuart calls it Goldberg Jump EX? Boots. Depends, does Tuan know the original trick of this is called Goldberg Jump? If so, I think the odds are actually somewhat good. Yeah, that wasn't it. Where did that name come from, by the way? Like, Goldberg Jump? What's the frame of reference here? Rube Goldberg machine. I heard that phrase, but I don't have present right now what it means. The time it was probably the most complex trick. That seems fair. Dum bum. It's a machine that is unnecessarily complex. Okay, yeah, I had a vague memory of that. I just didn't remember if it was a particular thing or just the concept of an unnecessarily complex machine. Dum, da, dum, bum. After Goldberg, who planned out such machines. Yeah, it was something like that. I did in fact know that at some point. Now it's also present again. Bum, bum, ba-dum, ba-da-dum. La, 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 la. That could have worked if I threw the grenade to the left, as is the plan here. That could never have worked because I threw a random grenade in the way. So there is this annoying thing where the Baneling just explodes instead of getting redirected, but to be honest, I don't think that even matters in the scope of how many failures this setup produces, just because of how precise it is. I don't know where I'll want to rocket jump from, because that depends entirely on how exactly the Baneling gets redirected. Whoops. I do appreciate the Baneling trying to give me energy there. I'll need some energy for this trick. At least it's not a 2-minute Igor lure. I don't think I'll ultimately spend less time on this though. So like, does it really make a difference? If the trick is 10 times shorter and takes 10 times as many attempts? Whoop. That did not go high at all. Whoa, too much speed. Too little speed. If it was shorter and took less attempt, then that would not be great progression. Things have to get harder. There's some notion of a difficulty curve, I feel like. But not much of it. Like, it's just a difficult plan though. It's very difficult at the start and it'll probably be very difficult at the end. It's more like some difficulty spikes in between, with more relaxed sequences, to keep you from getting frustrated too much. This is the easier sequence. Probably. I mean, I don't know how long this will take from now, but I already got 2 almost successful attempts. Well, is it Naru section? I'm not sure if I'll be able to handle the Naru hops in this plan though. That might be too much. If you could roll down the hill, that would greatly support my efforts, dear grenade. Thank you. Actually, this explosion where the Baneling explodes instead of getting redirected is happening pretty commonly. It would be good to know why that happens. Like, just... like, that was 3 times in a row or something? At least felt like it. Without knowing why it happens, I can't even begin to think about ways to prevent it. So it's just gonna keep happening. Somehow this feels less consistent than the run and throw version. It does, doesn't it? I mean, it depends. Sometimes I had streaks that went well with this setup, and sometimes I had streaks that went terribly. And I guess same about the run-throw version. This has faster retries, is the thing. Like, much faster retries. But it also gives me nearly no time here, so it's probably useless. Even if it works. I want to have some time over there to aim. Bum, bum. Well, that was a redirect, but I need him to go further to the left. Like, I'm not getting a useful rocket jump off that. Further left, please. The main advantage of this setup as compared to the others is not that it would be consistent at getting the Baneling over the pit. Not at all. That's still my very first setup. That could get the Baneling apart across the pit pretty much every time. The advantage is that I have time for the second grenade. If you're on controller, the game stores your aim. If you have a setup to aim for the same for both grenades, then that would be convenient. Same for keyboard. Like, if I aim here, I can store that aim and fire it off here. Or here. No, that didn't work because of the elemental. It auto-aimed on the elemental. But as long as I use an auto-aim, I can store that angle. If you have a setup to aim the same for both grenades, that would be convenient. If I stop in the same place, yeah. It could be that this slightly increases the consistency of the trick. But the aim of this grenade isn't the bottleneck. It's the timing of when I throw it. And storing the aim wouldn't help with that. So I don't think it would reduce the amount of total time I spend on the trick. This is where the other setups would have worked out so much better. Like, if I could have just jumped across and then aimed this grenade, then the Baneling would have a very similar speed. And maybe I can. Maybe I just haven't tried enough with that. I don't even have to re-aim at the start either, though. I think here at the start, yeah, I would just auto-aim the Baneling. So I would have to re-aim at the start because of that. Oh! Hey. Yeah, that's the problem with other setups. Just doesn't seem to fit into the time frame. Too close and I have line of sight. Like, the turret isn't curved enough to break line of sight. Maybe if I, like, look... No. Can't look that far down. What happens if I charge flame the Baneling here? Does that get its speed consistent, maybe? Whoops. I'll have to build some muscle memory for that. Oh! Okay. I don't know. Does it? It seems like the Charge Flame could at least halt the Baneling on those attempts where he just goes flying. And there's no way for me to control him otherwise. Like that? No, actually, that still didn't help. Yeah, it seems more like a consistent amount of force than a consistent resulting speed. Because it couldn't control that high velocity Baneling either. The Elemental is so rude on this too, like, look at it just shooting my Baneling out of the air. To be fair, that Baneling was in the wrong position anyway. La 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 la. Come to me, Baneling. Come to Ori. No need to explode so eagerly. What even happened? Honestly, no idea. No idea. Da-da-dum, da-dum. Alright, so I'd really like to get this trick. However, I just have to call it because of time. So this right here is the last attempt at the trick for today. I can definitely get it, I'll just, unless this is the successful attempt, we'll have to get it tomorrow. Alright. Worth a try. Tomorrow it is. Alright, cool. I like how this trick shapes out. It'll be fun to get, I'm sure. Just have to do the thing as before with some better stair cancels. And then that should work. So yeah, to everyone who was here, thank you very much. This trick shall most likely be completed tomorrow. Now repeat that last attempt speech? No. A last attempt is a last attempt. I don't just say it is. So I don't really want to raid someone because I wouldn't be able to stay in their stream because I just have to go now. But yeah, maybe I'll see some of you again tomorrow. Until then, I wish you a wonderful day. And have fun. Oh, let me pause the timer.